Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for coming for our Spiritual Master's 76th Vyasa Puja celebration. A lot of you are also our God siblings, so we welcome everyone. I actually wanted to first express my gratitude to our God family, everyone. Sundari Sita Mataji, Yamuna Sundari Mataji, Prasdipika, Rasamandal, Godfrey, and all of them. So many of them, because of their presence, we could come at 10 to 10 today. We didn't have to come at 7 o'clock in the morning. So they basically retired us. So it's nice that all of us come together and put this festival together for the pleasure of Srila Gurudev. And as usual, the standard practice is that we'll have the reading of meaning of Vyasa Puja, which will be done by Vyasa Prabhu. And after that, Godfrey Prabhu will read Srila Gurudev's offering to Srila Prabhupada. Many times my personal experience is that, you're all wonderful Vaishnavas. My experience is that when we sit to hear, the body is here but the mind is traveling everywhere else. But these words which are spoken, the meaning of Vyasa Puja and Srila Gurudev's offering to Srila Prabhupada, these are words which actually are very, very inspirational for us. Very powerful words, because Gurudev is pouring his heart, expressing his gratitude for Srila Prabhupada and what Srila Prabhupada has done. I will give you an example. One time many years ago I did some small service for Srila Gurudev, and he immediately messaged me back. In those days I don't know whether there was phones or no, but emailed me back, saying thank you Shakirai. And I wrote back to him, I said, no, you don't have to thank me, it's my duty as well as my right to do this service. And he wrote back to me immediately, he said, my spiritual master used to thank us for every small service we did for him. So this is the thing we learn from our spiritual master, the expression of gratitude, even for something small, anyone does to us. So without further ado, I will request Vyasa Prabhu to come and... so here today also we are going to speak from our written homages. Also we can speak from our hearts. As the master of ceremony for today's function, it's not going to be an easy job to balance between the hunger of the devotees at 12:30 and also to expression of heartfelt gratitude by some devotees. So let's see who wins. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mr. Prabhu. Welcome everyone. This is grand occasions for all of us, and when we get initiated, like it is said that we are born on that day, and today we are celebrating 76th birthday of our beloved Gurudev. Although it's in English term it's birthday, but actually in Vedic system, Muslim system, we call it as Vyasa Puja. So, although I read the Vyasa Puja meaning, but we all know that the Srila Vyasadeva is and how he has compiled all the scriptures. So, according to Vedic scriptures, Vedic system, we celebrate Srila Gurudeva's birthday as a Vyasa Puja. Srila Vyasadeva has compiled all the Vedic literatures, and he is the original spiritual master. And he's and for anyone following the Vedic spiritual leadership. The spiritual master carries the message of Vyasadeva to the world and is known as representative of Vyasadeva. So, whatever is written in the Vedic system, the spiritual master carries that scriptures, that message, and that is passed on the devotees, on everyone in this world. So, the spiritual master carries the message of Vyasadeva to the world, and thus is known as representative of Vyasadeva. So, thus, the spiritual master's auspicious appearance day is celebrated as Vyasa Puja. In appreciation of his divine work, his disciples, followers, admirers feel the heart's gratitude, like glorifying his humanly impossible achievements and reinforce and reaffirm their faith on their bona fide spiritual masters. So our spiritual masters, whatever he does, the message he gives, whatever he does, it is said, it's like humanly impossible. See, but see, we can see the way he delivers all those things and he blessed us by giving all his blessing to all of us. A bona fide spiritual master coming in the line of succession, descending from Vyasa is considered a representative of Vyasa. So, Srila Prabhupada has already written about Bhagavad Gita that Srila Prabhupada writes, actually, there is no difference between hearing directly from Krishna and hearing directly from Krishna via bona fide spiritual master like Vyasa. The spiritual master is representative of Vyasa also. Therefore, according to Vedic system, on the birthday of spiritual master, the disciple conduct the ceremony called Vyasa Puja. It's Bhagavad Gita as it is, 18.75 Bhagavad. So, on this Vyasa Puja day, we worship Srila Gurudev as a manifested compassion of Supreme Lord. And we give thanks to the day he appeared in this world, as well as the blessed we met him, blessed day we met him, and he's heard his words on the first time. I think that gives a full meaning of what Vyasa Puja is. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I'll request God now Prabhu to read the homages in the Srila Gurudev to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Giriraj Prabhu. So I'm reading Srila Gurudev's offering to Prabhupada. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances in the dust of your lotus feet. All glories to you. My dear spiritual master, as we find ourselves in the twilight of our lives, my God brothers and God sisters and I are coming face to face with harsh realities of material existence that you so warned us about in the innocence of your youth. Birth, disease, old age, and death. The stark experience of these sorrows serves as a sobering reminder that your words of wisdom about the material world always ring true. However, even more significant to us, and indeed to devotees of any age, is the positive alternative you compassionately bestowed upon us all. The path back home to the spiritual world, where life is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. If there is any advantage to growing old, it is that we now hold this alternative closer to our heart than ever before. I am eternally grateful to your direct guidance and blessings. Your instructions to preach boldly and have faith in the holy names have been the guiding principles of my life in Krishna consciousness. Your unwavering faith in the power of the Hare Krishna mantra has instilled a deep conviction within my own heart. Your dedication to spreading Krishna consciousness through large-scale events has been the source of inspiration for same service I offer to you, your lotus feet. And your profound love for Vrindavan, the sacred abode which you so mercifully revealed to us all, has been the motivation for my ongoing research efforts and weekly lecture on the Dharma. Though your grace alone, I have spent the last 50 years sharing the joy of Krishna consciousness with others. My goal has been to make your divine presence felt in every kirtan I lead, in every lecture I deliver, and every soul I meet on this sacred journey. My spiritual master, your arrival in the Western world was a turning point, a pivotal moment in the history of spirituality on this planet. Your journey from the shores of India to the distant land of America was not just a physical one. It was a transcendental voyage on which you carried the eternal wisdom of scripture scriptures to the eager hearts of seekers across the globe. Your Bhagavad Gita as it is has become a timeless classic, and your Srimad Bhagavatam will continue to illuminate the path of bhakti for many generations to come. May your words continue to resonate in the hearts of all those who encounter them, and may your legacy shine eternally as ray of hope and love in this world. Your literally contribution are vertically treasure trove of spiritual knowledge, and I am eternally grateful for the opportunity to share this well with others. May I always remain a faithful servant in your divine mission to spread glories of Krishna far and wide, as I know this pleases your divine grace. Srila Prabhupada, I long for the day I can be with you again in person, but I know I must earn that privilege through the medium of service to your lotus feet. Throughout this past summer, amidst the accelerating kirtan we held with the many guests who attended our festivals along the Baltic Sea coast in Poland, I often gazed towards the heaven and wondered if you are watching. I earnestly pray for a sign that you were aware of our efforts to please you. Then one night, I had a dream that I was chanting japa. While strolling through a picturesque park, suddenly you were there. You were walking towards me in the company of several of my esteemed God brothers. Overwhelmed, I prostrated myself at your feet. As I rose, you passed by and turning towards me, you kindly said, "You are doing well. I am pleased with you. Continue as you are." I took great inspiration from that dream. Srila Prabhupada, my godbrother Harekrishnadas recounted in this book, the Hare Krishna explosion, that you told him that although most dreams are simply functions of the mind, dreams of the spiritual masters are of spiritual significance. If the Guru gives you instruction in a dream, you say to him, disciple is supposed to follow them. When I came to the West, my spiritual master repeatedly advised me in a number of dreams. Srila Prabhupada, I am determined to continue doing well so that you will be pleased with me and so that my cherished desire to be with you again will come true. Honestly, nothing else matters to me in this world. I stand prepared to accompany you to any corner of the three worlds in order to propagate Krishna consciousness. I beg you, my dear spiritual master, to please be present with me when I leave this mortal frame one day. Please take me by the hand and lead me to my next service. I promise wholeheartedly to try to make you proud, and sometime in the future, when the day arrives that your mission in this world has been achieved, perhaps you will take me home to Sri Vrindavan Dham to serve you eternally in transcendental abode. Until then, I'll keep memories of days spent with you locked safely within my heart. From time to time, I will unlock those treasures and gaze upon them with relish. One time, you left your chadar on Vyasa after lecture on Krasi, learning New Mayapur in France. Seizing the opportunity, I grabbed the chadar and currently carried it back to your quarter in the chateau. After knocking softly on your door, I entered to find you motionless, staring out the window at the large assembly of devotees and guests starting to take prasadam on the lawn. After a minute, you turn around with tears flowing down your cheeks. You say softly, let them take Krishna prasadam. Srila Prabhupada, I miss you more than words can express. I relive that moment again and again in hopes of meeting you once more. The Rajabhati poet Rasikadas has written, Kabahu deko ina naina na udata Uprena Sudarachala Nasata Tapa Hridaya Te Praja Kabhu Deku Ina Taina Sundar Mukha Daya Jala Kata Hai Kripa Sishya Pe Karata Rasala Kabhu Suno Janaka Shri Mukha Shri Savana Mila Rasa Jagata Hai रसिका दास जुईरा कबू में चला तो पीछे प्रीता रीता में पुनः मिलना की बता. Translation. When will I see you again? The glorious gate of my Guru, who with his chadar following in the wind removes this distress in the heart of his disciples. When will I again behold with these eyes the beautiful and the merciful face of my Guru, whose eyes are dripping the most condensed form of mercy, which melt the heart of his disciples. When will I again hear his nectarian words, which reveals the blissful pastime of the divine couple in my heart? The poet Rasikadas says, "Oh brother, tell me please, when will the day come when I will walk beside my Guru again, relish our sacred reunion?" Srila Prabhupada, I am and will always be your eternal servant, Indradyumna Swami. Vyasa Maharaj ki Jai.
Thank you, Gopran Prabhu. When you look at these photos, you can see once Srila Gurudev told me, when he was visiting here, he was, like invited to quite a few places to do some home programs, temple programs and all that. And then he told me, Sakhi, I'm confused. He said, I am not a temple sannyasi, I am a street sannyasi. He says, more than the smell of the fragrances in the temple, I like the smell of bitumen. Because when you go on the street, when it's hot, the bitumen is melting, you get that smell. We experienced that yesterday, right? In the Harinam in Ipswich, we went for Harinam, glorifying Srila Gurudev to give the holy names of prasadam, some mantra cards to people who are just visiting there. And you see people, in this world are so innocent, so ignorant of their condition that we have to go out. And following the footsteps of Srila Gurudev, we have to go out. Yes, this is nice. As Kadam Karan Maharaj says, when Swamis come, we invite them, we have pizza and cake and all that, that's nice. But Swamis are bored stiff. They want to go out and give the holy name to one and all. So we'll start our homages. Has anyone come for the first time for these occasions? I see most of the faces. So we have attended Vyasa Puja, right? Then we don't have to explain. So we'll start with homages. And to continue, we'll have a mix of disciples and our esteemed guests. So we'll just call out one by one, and whosoever wants to speak, we can speak. So who wants to be the brave one to start the first one? Is somebody going to start?
Senior devotees.
No, this is no. Everyone is senior here. You start? Okay. Who wants to be the brave one? Adi, want to start? No?
Let's go.
Okay. You want to look at your father? I'm telling you.
Dear Gurudev, happy Vyasa Puja. I hope you had a wonderful day and I pray for your healthy Krishna conscious well-being. Mahaprabhu taught all the animals in the Jharkhand forest the Mahamatra. Following in the footsteps of Mahaprabhu, you write in one of your books that in the town of Pogiro, whenever you would do Harinam along the beach, a seal would show up and move when you would and stop when you would do. This would attract many people from the beach. Gurudev has the power to infuse this seal with devotion and love. No one else could do this. When I read your books, I really like how you encourage all the devotees to continue what they are doing and not give up. I think this really helps devotees progress in the path of bhakti. It is a great motivation for many people and helps many people not only move forward on the path of bhakti but actually join it. Your granddaughter Adya.
Shri Ram Vijay, you want to say homage? You want to share? Huh? Oh, basically.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimati Indradyumna Swami Namine Nama Prabhupada Priyadasya Jagannath Yatanda Mukte Bhakta Sukhaya Krishna Kirtana Darshana Rakshita Namo Happy Vyasa Puja Gurudev. I think like most of us, I'm not really qualified enough to glorify my spiritual master, but I'll take a few sentences to tell you about what I have been through him, what I am, where I am, who I am today is only because of two people, Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev. In fact, I owe my whole spiritual existence to Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev. They've always been there whenever I've needed them in the worst of times. The most recent example was that I had written to Gurudev a few months ago, and I was a bit upset that he didn't reply. But then all of a sudden, one day I get a call. Sakira Prabhu was with him, and Gurudev came on the phone and we had a video conference. What Godprem Prabhu said earlier about Gurudev's Vyasa Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada, there were a few things that he repeated. Gurudev told me very clearly, I hear that you are on the twilight phase of your life. He said that in all seriousness, but there was no, the mood was quite happy and both of us started laughing. And then Gurudev said only one thing, that don't worry, you'll be with Prabhupada very soon. So that really touched me, that he gave me the blessing that eventually I will be out of this place and will be with Srila Prabhupada. He even took some time to appreciate some of the service that my mother had done for him. She had knitted a jumper for him, and he was really appreciative of that as well. So once again, to reiterate, for me, my spiritual existence is owed totally to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev ki Jai.
Before Sri Ram Vijay Prabhu was given his Brahman Diksha, when we were on conference call to Srila Gurudev, I was speaking to him on my own because I wanted to basically tell him the entire story, and at the end he told me, Saki, I'm like Lord Shiva, I accept everyone. So, anyone who comes, no problem, I'll accept him. I'm not saying that you're a ghost or I'm just saying that he said, I'll accept everyone. So yes, who's the next one? Who want to speak next? Now, Chitramali, you ready now? Okay, thank you. Slowly we have to start moving in the front.
Hare Krishna, dear Srila Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances in the best of your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Getting prepared to write my offering, I listened to the offerings of my dear God family. They melted my heart and made me cry. I am eternally grateful to be a part of such a big and loving spiritual family, with you being our beloved spiritual father. The duties of a father are to nurture and provide for the child. You nurture our devotional lives with the sweet nectar of Krishna Katha and provide us with invaluable instructions. You truly care for us. Every devotee and even non-devotee coming in contact with you experienced your kindness and care towards them. You find in every person's heart a tiniest particle of goodness, magnify it 10,000 times and bring it to Krishna as an offering. Your desire to bring all living entities back home is so strong that you find a place for everyone in Srila Prabhupada's movement. No one is left behind, feeling unqualified or unworthy. Your love and kindness are so empowering. One time during Kartik Parikrama's lecture, I was feeling tired, sleepy, cold and hungry, as usual. But you were talking with such enthusiasm. You were glowing. It struck me. This subject matter is very important to Srila Gurudev. And immediately I started paying attention. If it wasn't for you, I would have kept sleeping. And I mean not only that lecture, but my whole life. Your divine personality is the reason for whatever insignificant service I do. My only qualification is being attracted to you, which you made so easy by always exhibiting your divine qualities and pastimes. So today, on the most special occasion of your Vyasa Puja, I pray that you please give me spiritual strength to keep holding onto your lotus feet, and please make me a servant of your servants. Your good-for-nothing disciple, Chitramalini Devitasi.
Thank you, Mataji, for that very sweet and heartfelt expression of gratitude to Srila Gurudev. May I request anyone who's not a disciple or aspiring disciple to speak? Anyone who knows Srila Gurudev or has been in touch with Srila Gurudev? You are an aspiring disciple, so anyway, you can speak now, yeah? Also, what was I going to say? Come. So the etiquette is that we go and first pay our obeisances to the spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, speak our homage after that.
Please accept my humble obeisance at my lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Dear Srila Gurudev, at the moment for the past 6 to 8 months, I've been doing 6 japa rounds and sing the Srimad Bhagavatam prayers every night. For what was fascinating is that I had a lifelong dream to go to Mayapur, because I bet I was the only one in my ISKCON community who hadn't been to Mayapur. And I really wanted to go. This last year, Krishna my praise in Pool, I was in Mayapur saying the years of my life. Next wish is to go to Jammu. Let's hope my next wish gets fulfilled. This year, my big goal is to sing the Srimad Bhagavatam prayers with accuracy, because you said that to me that whoever chants the Srimad Bhagavatam prayers will be fearless, so that struck my mind. So for the past few days, I've been trying to sing my prayers with accuracy, and my next goal is to chant 7 rounds by the end of this year. Also this year, I've been helping the temple cooking team by cutting vegetables, paneer, to put in the vegetable curry, or sometimes even rolling puris. Please give me your mercy so I can do more than just cutting vegetables and cooking rice and making juice further in the year. I also participated in Indradyumna. It was called the Appearance of Patita Parvati Devi, which is outside Jagannath Puri Temple today. Please shower your mercy on me so I can travel with you or serve you in some way throughout Srila Prabhupada's mission. I pray for your good health while you travel around the world with disciples. Spiritual granddaughter of Gopika Radha.
So I'm going to take a photo of this and send it to Srila Gurudev now. Permission, can I do that please? Is that okay? Harekrishnatemple.
Take a photo with it. Take Gopika's photo with it.
Is it okay if I take the photo? Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? Okay. So once when the next speaker is speaking, I'm going to send this to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Gopika. Okay, so anyone from outside, anyone who knows Srila Gurudev, Amrita Prabhu, can you say a few words? Whatever you know, it comes from heart, and we'll be very happy to hear from Govinda Maharaj. He says in his class that wherever we go in assemblies like this, we must glorify Vaishnava, even in 1 or 2 lines, but it's our duty actually to glorify Vaishnava like that. So I'm not forcing anyone, please, if you feel inspired, or if you need some time, you can take your time, but if you're doing Vaishnava circle, okay, yeah, after that.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada. I first meet Indradyumna Maharaj, I think, when he came in Marcineh around 1989. I remember he used to come and stay in the temple, and every morning he used to do the deity worship. He used to do the Shinane deity, and he used to have the deity, and he used to take like maybe about 1 hour. We used to sit down and watch. That was one of the first experience. And the other experience I remember is to go on Harinam, and I remember one day when Harinam was in Sydney, and we went to every shop, inside every shop. It was like really, there was like so many devotees, and there was like the Saki always said, Maharaj, that's why his life is like Harinam. So there was another experience, and another one. It was on the late night. It was always ice cream and cake. I remember it was late after right now we used to come back, and there was always something to eat, like 10 o'clock, and it was like, and I remember we was giving some class, and I remember one of the classes when we went to the safari in Amazon. It was like, and he said it was very austere. They were traveling on the boat on the river, and there was like mosquito and so many insects, and the Amazon safari. And there was at the time too. A few years ago, I went for a couple of weeks on the Polish tour. It was a nice experience too. But Maharaj was every day, he was all day, on the beach, on Harinam, working with us, and then doing the preaching. He was from morning to night. He didn't stop for it was like for 6, 7, 8 weeks, so inspiring. Sometimes we feeling so tired, so exhausted. You see, your son is like, in his 70, and he's like, it's not like he's sometimes every day was with us, Amazing, and that's it. That's it I have to say. Hare Krishna.
So when I went for the Polish tour first time, then to just give some context to the devotees here, then I explained to them, the magnitude of the Polish tour. I said, you think of doing a Janmashtami here. So Janmashtami we get about, in those days we used to get about 2,000 people. Says multiply that by 3 times and do that for 2 months continuously. So devotees used to have one base and then go around on the Baltic Sea coast, on the different towns, and the size of Janmashtami we have here 3 times that size. They'll do a festival every day. I think only Monday was off in those days, but for 2 months in a row they'll do that. So yes, that's what Gurudev loves the big festivals. So who's the next one? Rasikesh, you want to speak? Yeah. My god brother Govind Charan Prabhu, he says very nicely, he says, speaking homage is, you can compare with the heart surgeon doing heart surgery. When the heart surgeon opens, he doesn't know that he's going to do it for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. The same way when we open our hearts to the spiritual master, we don't know how much time it will take. So yes, we have flexibility and we have also some time in our hands. So if anyone wants to speak from the heart, yes, you can do that.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I'd like to say a few words about the pictures you've seen here. One of the pictures is very old. Gurudev is wearing a wig when he was preaching in communist Russia. It's very old, before even probably 1985. Yeah, and there are also few devotees who are dear to my heart because I spent a number of years from 1994 to 2004 in Polish tour. So I could see Amritananda Prabhu there, Vijayvar Prabhu was there. He came first time in 1995, 1 year after me, and many other devotees. There is one amazing Mataji, Hungarian Mataji, who is been dancing on the Polish tour, and every Harinam since 1994 until today, every year. She's definitely going back to God now. So it's amazing Srila Gurudeva's mission, which is very important for him. And now his vision is big, and Srila Prabhupada's vision also. He wants to have similar tours all around the world, in different parts of the world. I know he started doing in Hrishikesh, very interesting very interesting tour, similar to what same mode of kirtan and preaching, like in Poland. And he has plans for other different parts of the world. And today, with your permission, I open my heart and talk to my spiritual master. My dear spiritual master, dear Srila Gurudeva, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. All glory unto you. This is my 31st celebration of your Vyasa Puja, and the 31st time to reflect on personal development within the framework of the instructions you gave me about 20 years ago. You asked me to be happy. I was experiencing happiness by chanting for almost 15 years at that time. So I thought this was an easy instruction to follow. But just then, the first blow of karma knocked me off my feet, and the feeling of happiness disappeared for 5 years. With the help of Bhakti Yoga, Ayurveda, natural medicine and psychology, I managed to restore life to the balanced state and started feeling happy again. But the second blow of karma didn't keep me waiting long. It took away some of the health, my job, and resulted in disability. I felt this was the end of life. How can I fulfill your instruction of being happy while I'm in pain on a daily basis? When chanting is a 4-hour struggle, as I no longer can hold the beats. When playing musical instruments and kirtan causes my arms to ache and swell, and I can't use them for 2-3 weeks after that. At that challenging time, I remembered another instruction you gave me about 10 years ago. Go deeper, you said. Everything is in there. Looking for love, peace, and support so desperately needed, I jumped within. When the body is not healthy, it is hard to focus during chanting. But there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. And the practice makes it perfect. By the power of your instructions, I rose and started feeling happy again. And just then, the third wave of karma hit me with heart attack on Radhashtami Day, September 10, 2024. Everyone was celebrating while I was in the hospital, wondering whether it was my time to go or not. It turned out to be a reality check and a lesson of faith in Krishna and faith in his holy names. I was so happy that Krishna allowed me to remember him. I was so happy to be alive. I decided to restore my health to maximum so that I can serve your instructions and the holy names of Krishna deeply and purely. I felt happiness coming from within, and I realized that it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. What matters is how many times you rise. There are many definitions of happiness, but for me, happiness is when I can remember Krishna and follow your instructions under any circumstances. Happiness is when I continually learn and grow. Happiness is embracing challenges and sharing realizations upon overcoming them, as it is like sharing the love taken from the Lord. Happiness is deep connection to the Lord in the heart. Happiness is understanding spiritual master and serving his mission. Happiness is serving the Lord and his devotees. Happiness is serving community at large. Happiness is chanting, beware. Happiness is contagious. Dear Srila Gurudeva, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the mercy you gave me in the form of your instructions. Your instructions are perfect, and your instructions are all I'm made of. Hare Krishna, wishing you happiness, dear eternal servant, Prasika Saturday Bless.
Thank you, Mataji, for that again heartfelt homage. We'll show a little video of Srila Gurudev, and then we'll continue with our homages.
Later during that visit to London, before Balavan and I went on to Paris, Sri Prabhupada called us into his room and to give us some more instructions and inspiration. I was very much hoping at that time to receive a personal instruction from Sri Prabhupada. Prabhupada gave many general instructions, but of course a disciple always hankers to have some personal relationship with his spiritual master, receive some special instructions. I was a little shy to ask, but at one point I spoke with him and I said, Sri Prabhupada, could you give me some instruction? So Sri Prabhupada leaned over the desk at that time and looked at me in my eyes. He said, preach boldly and have faith in the holy names. I've always tried to follow that instruction of Sri Prabhupada and guideline for the rest of my life. I was so nervous at the time, I don't remember how I felt. I just felt blessed that Prabhupada would see me, notice me, and give some instruction that I can build the rest of my devotional prayer on. And then Prabhupada, to further encourage both of us, he reached over into his drawer, he gave me one of his dhotis, and he gave Bhagavan Das one of his undershirts, and just smiled. And then after a little more conversation, we left for our service in Paris, France. I didn't wear that dhoti. Actually, it was bright saffron. Of course, I was a Grihastha at the time, but it was the tadiya, it was the paraphernalia of the spiritual master, and therefore divine. We know that Mahaprabhu himself, in order to encourage his own followers, his own disciples, he would sometimes give them pieces of cloth. A piece of his cloth was sent to Maharaj Prataparuja, who worshipped as non-different than the Lord. A piece of his cloth was sent to Gopal Bhatta Goswami in Vrindavan. So this tadiya, this nectar, this mercy of my spiritual master, I took that very seriously. I used to wear that as a charter, actually. And sometimes when they sannyasis, they come through, they chide me, "You Grihastha, you're wearing saffron?" I said, "Yes, this is no ordinary cloth. This is the dhoti of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. I'm not taking it off for anything."
Do we have lights on again, please? So, can we invite Arjun to say something?
HareKrishna. Dear Srila Gurudev, please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Sri Gauranitai. On this most auspicious occasion of your Vyasa Puja, I would like to sincerely thank you for your love, compassion, and kindness you endlessly share with not only devotees, but the whole world. From the global festivals to the small personal moments you share with each individual devotee. It feels impossible to adequately give recognition to the level of commitment you have shown Srila Prabhupada's mission, all the years, the effort, and energy. I'm sincerely grateful to you for all the strength and shelter that you have brought to my family and to my God family. I pray for your health and your continued protection from Lord Nishanadev. With love, your servant, Kanchana Bhavidasa.
In one of the Gayatri mantras, we actually say this word called Krishnananda. It's one who takes bliss in doing the service for Krishna. And you can see from the pictures here that he was always happy in the service of our divine Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So it's always happy. So that word Krishnananda is coming in the Gayatri mantra. And then what as disciples we are supposed to be is, yes, we are supposed to be enthused by the happiness which our spiritual master feels in the service of Krishna. So when we get enthused, we also perform services accordingly. So thank you, ma'am. President, you want to say something?
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Indradyumna Swami iti namine. Dear Srila Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Happy Vyasa Puja. Age is just a number, or your age is what you feel. All such quotes about age, Gurudev, you exemplify them. Your energy in everything you do is just inconceivable for me. Nectar of Instruction mentions that who executes the principle of Utsahat Nishchaya Dharya is assured to complete success of pure devotional service, Gurudev. You exemplify all of them. More than 50 years in the moment and 47 years as a sannyasi, and it seems you are unstoppable. Old age and fatigue don't know you. Parikrama, Sadhu Sangha, Rishikesh Kirtan Festival, Puran Festival, and so on, and amongst all these, you keep connecting the souls to the glorious moment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Your magnanimity is just like Lord Shri, very merciful. I was watching the video of one of the initiation ceremony in Russia, where many of the devotees haven't met you in person even once. They barely understood English. You so kindly asked each devotee, have you met me in person? Kindly explain the importance of Vani association and accepted them as your disciples, Gurudev. This is your magnanimity. I recently learned that impatience is also a type of pride. And in light of that, you are the most patient and most humble. Your Vyasa Puja ceremony goes for weeks according to different time zones. Each ceremony goes for 3 to 4 hours. Where devotees sometimes don't even speak in English, but you patiently present them in front of the camera with patience and attention. While only watching in our comfort of our home, sometimes we get tired being at one place. This is your love for your disciples. We hear the time and again that Vani and Vapo associations are equally good and equally important. Your classes in YouTube are nectarian, but I still desire your Vapo association. It has been 3 years since we have met you in person, Gurudev. As we hear, the separation makes heart go fonder, but sometimes I feel I don't know if that's the case with me. I'm guilty of not putting any endeavor towards coming and meeting you. Every year since my last parikrama in 2022, I keep the resolution that I would go on parikrama this year, and by the time of the end year, when parikrama time comes, my resolution dissolves in my family life. And then I explain to myself, Sthane Sthita Shrutigatam Tanuvan Manubhi. I pray to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada to keep empowering you till the time you return back home, back to Godhead. And selfishly, asking your mercy and blessing to perform my services with same mode as you do. At your service, your spiritual daughter Vrajdeepika Dasi. His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Dear Srila Gurudev, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Indradyumna इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य सदेशकारिणे. Please accept my most humble obeisances to your divine lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to you, Srila Gurudev. It is said that a true Vaishnava touches people's heart with Krishna consciousness. This is very true in your case. Through your intense traveling, tireless preaching, melodious kirtans and amazing classes, you have touched so many people's heart around the world. Your disciples in Russia and Ukraine and all over the world celebrate your Vyasa Puja with such amazing decorations, cakes and feasts. This is all because of their love for you, Srila Gurudev. We used to wait for the photos that come out to see what new decorations, big cakes, homages and other preparations that they have made for you. Yes, Srila Gurudev, thank you so much for meeting us last September in Bombay. You had a very busy schedule and you still removed time to meet all four of us. We were told that you would be busy and would be available for 15 minutes, but we ended up with more than 2 hours with you. After you found out that Keshav likes to play Vridan, you gave him a Vridan and you led a wonderful kirtan. That moment will forever be engraved in our memory. You got Kalini to serve you lunch and ice cream. She was over the moon. Thank you for those special moments. Srila Gurudev, we are indebted to you. We are indebted to you. As through you, we are linked to the parampara, which goes back to Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that knowledge of the Supreme Lord is such a great gift that it is impossible to repay the benefactor. This is true in your case. We do not know how we can ever repay you in this life. Thank you, Srila Gurudev, for everything. Your most insignificant servants, Rasamanda Das, Yamuna Sundari, Keshav and Kalini.
Thank you, Rasa. Rishabh Devru, maybe you can speak a few words for Srila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Indradyumna Swami, glories to Sri Prabhupada. I had met Maharaj a couple of times when I was in New Zealand. So he used to come and do preaching, walk, and in the mornings he used to give class. Yes. I observed him about him is that he has a great affection with children. He would talk to them and children they become very friendly to him, and that's how he used to make them favorable in Krishna consciousness. And also he was a great preacher, and then he used to do great kirtan in the temple in the morning. In New Zealand it's very cold. So, but he would, in half an hour, he would make everyone sweating. He would push them, and those who don't go, sometimes and it was all in loving and affectionately, And then one time I joined, because I used to do greetings in the morning to deities, and then I come a bit late when class is over and join in the kirtan. And one time I remember he made us run in the temple, and then when he was saying Prema Dhuni, that time I I thought, where is Maharaj? I just lift my head and I was looking, and then he saw me. Then he came. He just came and held my jumper, and he was saying, Ganga Maya ki jai, Jamuna Maya ki jai, lift me up and push me down. Lift me up, push me down, unless he finished. Completing Prema Thuni. And each time he left me, I quickly look if somebody is looking or not. And then nobody was looking, but only myself. Put me up and down, and then nobody ever asked me. It's only today I'm telling that experience with me. But it was very interesting. It was just like his message.
Thank you, Prabhu. They were telling us in Christchurch Temple in old days, they will go and, like Gurudev, Sri Prahlad, Kalasamara, and everyone. You will not believe what they used to do. They had a ledge on the inside of the hall of the Christchurch Temple, and they'll pick up a short devotee and just throw them on the ledge. And the devotee is just going to lie there for whatever time. And then they'll pick a big hose, like a fire hose, like they use for fire extinguishing. They'll bring inside and just splash water on everyone. This was happening in the temple hall in Christchurch. So, it's just Krishna consciousness, always exciting and always fun with Srila Gurudev. Sri Radha Maharani, say a few words, please. Sri Radha Padma, sorry. My mistake.
Dear Srila Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your Vyasa Puja day, a time for reflection and appreciation for the relationship with the spiritual master. It has been 5 years since you gave initiation to me, and as you once said, it is the beginning of a journey and a moment you take responsibility for your spiritual life with someone watching over you. I'm continuously learning what it means to be under your shelter and an undeserving recipient of your mercy. You are so dedicated to pleasing Srila Prabhupada, your spiritual master, perfectly, and because of that, you are the perfect spiritual master. Your example is that by imbibing more mercy, we have more to give in Krishna consciousness. And Pandita Samadarshana, from your perspective, no living entity is ever too small, too young, or insignificant to receive it. Srila Gurudev, you are an active reminder that the way to know Krishna is through the experience. Krishna consciousness is life because when the spiritual master tells a story, he brings the holy pound with him, and he represents how every day can be a festival and every word a song. Bhakti is not just intellectual, it is a matter of the heart, and you are a testament to that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the Guru's behavior is a living commentary on the scriptures. Your life and preaching are that commentary, and I'm grateful that not only does the disciple have a connection to the Parampara through the Guru, but a wider connection to beloved God family. I'm always grateful for the presence and support of my God brothers and God sisters, through whom I can always feel your presence. By the mercy of the Guru, the mirror of the soul is cleansed, and one can see himself as he truly is, a servant of the servant of God, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Praying to always remain under your shelter, Shri Radha.
Thank you very much. Can we invite Rancho Red please to say a few words? And then Rama's Prabhu.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Name. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimade Indradyumna Swami Name. Dear Srila Gurudev, on the auspicious day of your Vyasa Puja festival, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Sri Sri Gaurnitai, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Om Agyan Divirandasya Gyanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my Guru, my spiritual master, opened my eyes with that torch of knowledge. I offer my obeisances unto him. On this auspicious day of your Vyasa Puja, I wish a very healthy and Krishna-conscious life to you. May Lord Srimad protect you, and you continue to shower your mercy upon all your disciples and well-wishers. Srila Gurudev, it has been a long time since you have visited Brisbane, Australia. I know you have a very busy schedule, Polish tour, Kartik Parikrama and many others. It will be really great if you can come to Brisbane to spend some time with your disciples over here. I humbly request you to think about visiting Brisbane in coming years. Gurudev, I am doing my services regularly. That includes ET cooking, Srila Prabhupada dressing service, Saturday feast cooking, Gita store, to name a few. This is all your mercy. My next target is to be involved in a book distribution service to propagate Srila Prabhupada's mission, as well as doing my japa more attentively. Kindly shower your blessings. It was indeed Krishna's mercy and your blessings that I was able to meet you at Sri Mayapur Dham last year, on 10 December. All went in place like automation. When I look back and think about it, I wonder, how did it happen? Surely, that's Krishna's divine hand and your blessings Srila Gurudev. It was indeed a great experience speaking to you face to face after 4 or 5 years, a lifelong memory. Thank you for giving me your time. Gurudev, for any known or unknown offenses caused by me at your lotus feet, please forgive me and give me blessings not to offend you and Vaishnavas. I beg for your mercy. Your own disciple and shall write this. Shri Gurudev ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Indradyumna Swami ki Jai. It's very inspiring to hear glorification of a spiritual master from so many nice and talented devotees here. I'd just like to share some few of the incidents, our exchanges Maharaj had with Srila Prabhupada. So please forgive me, Maharaj, if it's not too palatable. So, and our Shabda mentioned that Maharaj likes the children very much. So I was listening. Maharaj was himself speaking that one time he was in Mayapur and he was walking with his son then, Gaura Shakti, on his shoulders. And then while he went, and Srila Prabhupada was on the balcony and he waved to Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada waved back. And because he was sitting on Maharaj's shoulders and he was just saying, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, like that. I think he was only 3 years old, maybe, very young. And then later on Maharaj, when he was with Srila Prabhupada, so Srila Prabhupada said, these children are very, very special. They are not ordinary children. And because they love me so much, I must have had some relationship with them in the past. That's why they are so attracted to Srila Prabhupada. So that was one incident. Another time, in the early days, I think probably early 70s, I think Maharaj joined in Detroit. Yeah. So Maharaj was saying that, he was Bhakta Brian then, that he really wanted to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, but the temple president was very strict. I think it was Bhavananda. And he said, now Maharaj was already 8 months into the movement, and 8 months was too long at that time. If you are in the movement for 1-2 months, you could get initiated. So one time Srila Prabhupada visited, and then I said, I have to let Srila Prabhupada know that
want to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. But there were so many devotees, he just couldn't get a chance. So he decided to write a small letter to Srila Prabhupada. And at that time, when he moved into the temple, Maharaj said he had about $2,000-3,000 savings. That was a lot of money then. So he gave everything to the temple. And the temple president gave him $10 back for his maintenance, which was still, Maharaj thought was quite a decent amount for emergency use. So he said when Prabhupada was leaving, he ran up to the room, he wrote a small note to Srila Prabhupada about him wanting to take shelter from Srila Prabhupada, and he put the $10 in. And then he came rushing down, and Prabhupada was about to enter, into the car, and he just shouted from there, he said, Srila Prabhupada! And everyone was just, they frozen. Who's this boy shouting like this to Srila Prabhupada? And then Prabhupada said, like that, he just made a mistake. He said, Prabhupada, I've got a letter for you. So he came and paid obeisances and gave the letter, and Prabhupada said, thank you very much. So he went. And Maharaj was thinking that, Prabhupada is so busy, any stages, every day in the movement, will even read my letter, will I get a reply? He said, anyway. So a few weeks later, a letter came from Srila Prabhupada. And in those days, if a letter came from Srila Prabhupada, it was a big thing. The conscience will blow, woo! Everyone will come to the reception, and will sit. And the temple president will come and will bring the letter, and whoever the letter is addressed to, that person will come forward and read the letter. So there was no personal letters that time. The instruction was for everyone, kind of. So the sun blew and everyone came. So Maharaj said, when the conch shell blew, and we knew that it was Srila Prabhupada's letter, whatever services you were doing, you just drop it and just run to the reception area, because the letter was so special. So then Maharaj said, this is a letter for Bhakta Brian. And he said, wow, it's for me. Srila Prabhupada wrote me back. He was so excited. So he came forward and he read the letter to everyone. It's something like that. He mentioned that, my dear Bhakta Brian, thank you very much for your kind donation towards BBT. And I gather from the temple management that you're doing such nice service. And in due course of time, I'm going to duly initiate you. So he was so excited by receiving Srila Prabhupada's letter. So in this incident, we can see a disciple, even though Maharaj was not initiated at that time, he was so eager to serve Srila Prabhupada in whatever capacity he could. And basically, whatever savings he had, he gave everything to Srila Prabhupada. That's a quality of a disciple when they show surrendership. And one more incident before I finish. So Srila Prabhupada had to go to Europe to do some preaching, and he asked the temple president to organize the tour to France. So, and the temple president said, is there someone in the community who can organize this tour? And Maharaj, I quickly raised my hand up. He said, I can do this. It's easy. I've been to Europe, I've traveled everywhere, I know the places, I'll do this for Prabhupada. And he said, are you sure? He said, yeah, sure. But he said on one condition, that I'll also go with Srila Prabhupada. He said, okay, that's fine. So he said, he called the airline, I think in New York, I forget the airline. He said, is there a passenger named I.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami going from here to here? I said, yeah, there is one passenger by that name. He said, I need 2 more tickets. He said, I'm sorry, sir, the flight is full. I said, my heart just sank, like that. He said, no, but you have to do something. He's my guru. And the lady said, what's a guru? He said, my spiritual master. You know how Jesus Christ is like the spiritual master, It gives spiritual knowledge. He's like that to us. And she said, okay, hold on a second. So she went in, came back after a few minutes. She said, okay, sir, we just managed to arrange 2 more seats for you. He said, Jai Srila Prabhupada. He was so excited. So they went to the airport. There's something else on the way. I'm just going to cut it short. So we go to the airport, and Srila Prabhupada used to carry this white bag all the time. Right? And I said, I've always wanted to see what's in that white bag. a small bag, a carry-on bag. So when they went to the counter, the guy in the back said, "Open the bag." You know, like American white, this big guy said, "Open the bag, we want to see what's inside." And Prabhupada, you know, he said the bag was old, but locks were old as well. So Prabhupada was struggling a little bit to open the bag. And he was getting a bit agitated, the guy at the back. He said, "Open the bag." And I said, I could see Prabhupada was struggling, so. And then the third time he said, "Open the bag." And Maharaj said, I just leaned forward from the side of Srila Prabhupada, and I said to the guy, "If you're going to say that one more time, I'm going to break your face." So he just backed off a little bit, because Maharaj was very young and tall, and he was very built, you know. So, and then he even though he backed up, he said, "Okay, young man, you open the bag." Maharaj said, "Wow, I always wanted to do that." So he just turned around and he said, something happened, he just flicked it open like that, very easily. And he said, "I was wondering, you know, Srila Prabhupada's personal belongings were there, his glasses, his kartas, and like some documents. And I was so mesmerized that I just kept looking." And the guy said, "Excuse me, sir, I need to look as well." So he turned to the bag, he said, "Okay, have a look." So he looked, I said, "All good," close the bag, they go. So I think Pradyumna and Bhagwan Prabhu were sitting, and then Maharaj got to sit next to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was there chanting, and Maharaj was chanting. So as the plane took off, so Prabhupada looked at him and he said, "So, where's the prasadam?" I said, "Prasadam? Didn't bring any prasadam." But someone, while he was getting in the car, gave him some oranges. So he had some oranges. He said, "Prabhupada, I've got some oranges." So there were 3 oranges. He cut them, and Prabhupada was sucking on it. Like that, just sucking the juice and then putting. So Maharaj was thinking that, you know, it's my spiritual, I don't know whether Prabhupada will eat all 3. But Prabhupada ate all 3. So there was nothing left. So he said the plate was there, and Prabhupada looked at him and he said, "So, Indradyumna, you're not having any prasadam?" And I said, "No. Srila Prabhupada, there's nothing left, you know." And Prabhupada looked at him and said, "Bhagavad prasadam." I said, you know, I didn't even think like that. So when we offer anything to Krishna, Mahaprasada, but when the devotee honors it, it becomes Mahabhagavad Prasada. And Maharaj said, you know, in my neophyte stage at that time, it's Guru's Mahaprasad, right? We should not waste it, anything. So he put everything in the mouth, the peel, everything, and he was chewing, and he said, "My lips were burning, but I finished all. I finished all of it." And Prabhupada looked at him, and while he was chewing, he said it was like all red and burning, and Prabhupada looked at him. You know, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm honoring the Mahaprasada." He just said. So and then that's why they finally reached the destination, Hare, I think where we went to. So I mean, we probably have read, or most of us now, Maharaj's diary of a traveling monk. So many incidents are there. Like I think Indradyumna Swami is one personality who goes to such corners of the world where probably no one even thinks of going. One time I was reading in one of his diaries that he was going to a country in Southern African continent, and you had to walk miles to go to this village. There's no vehicle, nothing. So Maharaj parked with few of his disciples, and they decided to walk to this village just to go and distribute some harinam and distribute some prasadam and have a chat to them. I mean, he goes to lands and breads to distribute the holy name. And as we heard in the video, the personal instruction that Srila Prabhupada gave him, that have faith in the holy name and preach boldly, you can see he has really taken it to his heart in spreading this holy name. You know? Countries like China, Russia, Ukraine, you name it, he's there. Amazing personality, isn't it? So we can get some inspiration from Maharaj, especially on this Vyasa Puja day, and we can pray directly to Maharaj. So please bless us so we can also get this drop of faith in our hearts, so we are able to follow in his footsteps and take this holy name to wherever we can. His Holiness Indradyumna Swami ki. Hare Krishna.
Can everyone move forward a little bit, please? As much as you can.
Hare Krishna. So I'm going to read Vyasa Puja offering from Sri Radha Maharani Mataji as well. So she sent this. She is currently in India, so she'll pass it on to me. Dearest Gurudev, please accept my most humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Happy Obedience Day. On this day I am grateful to Sri Radha Krishna, Sri Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru for giving us special mercy. The mercy of your presence on this earth at this time to teach us fallen, ignorant souls about Sri Krishna. All glories to the disciplic succession parampara since the time of Lord Krishna and forth on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Though I haven't met you personally, but I feel very privileged to be your disciple. I came to know you through your disciple lectures, kirtan, and of course your books. I am very fortunate to have the opportunity to speak on this auspicious day of your appearance. I am very fortunate, first of all, you to enter in my life and heart. Often I think of where would I be without you, your disciples and your preaching centers. It's never a pleasant thought, not even for a slight moment. In this enlightening association is the hope for everyone, and with all your traveling, you bestow the ultimate benefit upon the people of India. You are such an expert preacher, Guru Maharaj. Each time I hear you speak, I'm amazed at how you are able to say exactly what I need to hear. I remember your instruction to me every day, and they are my inspiration. I'm following my service in HareKrishnaTempleBurbank temple whenever they fit me to. I've started asking my senior devotee for cooking service. I'm feeling very bad not to attend Vyasa Puja in HareKrishnaTempleBurbank temple due to my personal reason. I can never actually express to you how much I appreciate you and all that you give me. How much efforts you give to try to teach me. I can only try to serve you, and I sincerely pray that one day I will have no desire other than your service. You are aspiring to be eternal servant, Sri Radha Maharani Devidasi. I will now read my homages to Srila Gurudev. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Prabhupada Dasaya Jagannath Yatra Murte Bhakta Sukya Krishna Tirthavinna Rasimina Rakshitaya Namaha. Yes, Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances at your divine lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your tireless service and boundless compassion. Today, with immense joy in my heart, I join our God family of your disciple and well-wishers in celebrating your 76th Vyasa Puja. On this sacred day, I offer my heartfelt wishes for your continued good health, vitality, and a long life of glorious service to Srila Prabhupada's mission. I pray that you may go on inspiring and uplifting souls across the globe, and that fallen souls like myself may always find shelter and direction under your merciful guidance. Though it's been more than 2 years since I was graced by your personal association, your powerful presence and instructions remain deeply attached in my heart. I miss the exotic kirtan that went on for 2 to 3 hours alongside His Holiness Bibi Govind Maharaj and Badharidas Prabhu. Your joyful walks through the sacred fountains of Raja and your incredible determination and vigor against in organizing large-scale festivals. Despite your advancing years, you have shown us the devotional life when rooted in surrender and love for Krishna is never limited by age or circumstances. On this day, I am especially remembering our first meeting with you in person after our initiation. Despite your demanding Kartik Parikrama schedule and multiple responsibilities, you kindly allowed us to visit you. I still remember the moment I saw you, your radiant presence filled in the room. Though I am 6 feet tall, I felt like a tiny child meeting his teacher on the first day of school. In your presence, I realized how insignificant I am, how spiritually unripe, and how deeply profound and realized you are. Yet you broke the ice with your natural affection, asking about us and engaging with Ganesh on technology and gadgets. Bringing yourself to his level just to make a meaningful connection. And like the ever-compassionate teacher you are, you gently reminded him to chant regularly and deeply. I will never forget the joy of offering the walnut brownies, lovingly prepared by Prajadipika. You humorously announced to the room that no one should dare to touch them, and later shared a video of yourself relishing them with others. Our hearts were full that day. Dear Guru Maharaj, I continue to be in awe of your expensive heart. During Kartik, I witnessed your genuine care when over 20 boys from Nepal joined the parikrama. You have personally invited them and arranged for their travel and stay, knowing they could not afford it themselves. That act spoke the volumes. It embodied your vision that Krishna consciousness is for everyone and how we are all connected through Paramatma. I would also like to share a beautiful experience from a few weeks ago during the Holy Festival. While I was speaking with a senior devotee who has been associated with ISKCON for many years, I mentioned how our festival team is organizing 3 major festivals each year, and he paused and asked me if I was a disciple of Indradyumna Maharaj. Surprised, I asked how he could tell, and he smiled and said, "The mood, the flavor, it is unmistakable. It reflects Maharaj's spirit of festival organizing." I was deeply humbled to be recognized not by name, but by the qualities of one's spiritual father was one of the most touching experiences I have had. Thank you, dear Guru Maharaj, for being the guiding light in our lives, for exemplifying our tireless devotion, compassion and courage in the service of Srila Prabhupada's mission. May we always strive to become instruments of your will and reflection of your mood, eagerly awaiting the day I can serve in your personal presence again. Your insignificant servant, Guruband Das.
Okay, Magic Navika, say yours. So today the daylight saving starts and the clock goes go back 1 hour.
Dear Srila Gurudeva, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you.
I pray you are keeping well and getting enough rest during your busy schedule. I am constantly amazed by your determination in preaching. Your tireless efforts in spreading Krishna consciousness have profoundly inspired and changed the lives of countless numbers of people around the world. You have continued the wonderful legacy left by Srila Prabhupada of making lasting impacts in people's lives. I have not attended many of your festivals, so I also was excited when it was announced you were going to be joining the Festival of Fiji last year. I was disheartened when I found out you would not be attending due to health issues and was considering cancelling as well. Somehow, by your mercy only, I ended up going, and it was such an uplifting experience. You were not physically present at the festival, but your mood and enthusiasm of preaching was definitely there. So much so that in those 10 days, I felt a close connection to you. Throughout the festival, I got to witness how so many people are seeking a spiritual connection. From the young lady we met at the hotel reception who was lamenting that she had not kept in touch with her Indian roots, to the hundreds of primary school children who were running onto their school ground to sing and dance in a heathen with us. It was such a wholesome experience. We miss you a lot in Brisbane, and we often speculate on when your next trip here will be. I have only talked to you in person once in this lifetime, but feel so fortunate followed by an exchange. With just a few words, you gave me so much reassurance that day. It was 3 years ago during my peak. At the Indradyumna Temple. I found myself standing in line, waiting to meet you. It was our last day in Vrindavan before we left for Dapur, and possibly my only chance to talk to you. I had been carrying an envelope with some dakshina in the hope of giving it to you in person, but Karthik is such a busy time that it did not seem possible. It was only after encouragement from a dear friend that I mustered up the courage to approach you. The other devotees seeing you were so much more prepared. Some had letters and gifts for you. It was at that moment I realized I had not even put my name on the envelope. I felt very small when it was likely my turn to talk to you. Finally, I had a chance to speak with you, and I was feeling so overwhelmed. I quickly blurted out, "Thank you for saving me," and quickly gave you the envelope. And when I said meekly, "I don't know what else to say, he laughed out loud and said, "You don't need to say anything. I already know what's in your heart." And then to my surprise, he gave me a swift hard pat on the head. You truly did know what was in my heart, Srila Gurudev. Just a few days back, I had witnessed you patting some young devotees on the head as I was serving you. And I was thinking how I wish I was like those boys, and that I could experience your fatherly affection and your direct blessings. I am eternally grateful and indebted for your protection in this unstable world full of suffering and mysteries. In the past few months, balancing my material and spiritual duties has been challenging. Whenever I feel stressed and overwhelmed, I try to absorb my restless mind to the very first instruction you gave me on my initiation day. From this point on, you should feel no anxiety in life. Under the shelter of the spiritual master, you tolerate whatever this world throws at you, and always remain blissful, knowing that you are going to get the full mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas through this initiation process. How can I ever repay you, Srila Gurudev? You have given me the strength and courage to face all obstacles. I have not made any significant progress in my spiritual life, but I promise you that I will keep trying to be more spiritually connected and to never give up. Inspired by your memoirs, I have a strong desire to one day do some wonderful service to help people discover Krishna consciousness. I pray one day to be a worthy representative of you and Srila Prabhupada. On this auspicious day of Vyasa Puja, please accept a short prayer as a token of my sincere gratitude. I have no qualifications to call myself a devotee of the Lord. I only know my spiritual master who is pure in thoughts and has a heart of gold. He has promised me he will never rest until I reach back home. Only he can break the shackles that bind me to this material life. By his causeless mercy may I never stray from the path. Let me always remember that only he can lead me from this illusion, for my spiritual master knows what is deep inside my heart. My respectful obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet, your humble servant, Anjari Prandika Das.
Hare Krishna. So before I start my offering, because I was just looking through some photos, so you can see one photo of Srila Gurudev with one of the Tibetan monk, I believe. So there is a wonderful incident. So Srila Gurudev was traveling to Vrindavan from Bangalore, and he just reached out at Delhi airport, and he was waiting for a car to come so he can be picked up and taken to the Vrindavan. And with him there was his assistant called Mahavan Prabhu, and they were just waiting for the car to come, and meanwhile Mahavan Prabhu observed that there was one person who was just going around and talking to the people, and people are not responding. And suddenly Mahavan Prabhu told to Srila Gurudev, see Gurudev, that beggar, he is just behind the people. And when Srila Gurudev saw that person, he said, no, he's not beggar, but rather he's a monk. And then they still observe that person for a few minutes, and they observe that no one is helping him. So by compassion, Srila Gurudev just went to him and asked him, can I help you? So that monk was very happy because he tried to speak with people and they were not responding him. So he said, so long story short, he said that he was from Tibet since age of 5. He was in one of the monastery and serving his Gurudev there. Now he was, when he met Srila Gurudev, is around 65 something, and he wants to go both there to do some Pitrutarpa or something because Lord Buddha was there. So he said that on my way, everything what I had, my money, my passport, everything was stolen. Now no one is able to help me here. So they had quite a few conversations back and forth. Suddenly, Srila Gurudev offered him that, okay, take some money and go to both guys. Then he said, no, I can't accept from you. And suddenly, when he touched the Srila Gurudev's hand, he realized, I think some energy transferred to him and said, this is what you are doing. You are doing festival, you are doing preaching, you are doing so many things. Even you are going out of India and preaching a lot of things. And Srila Gurudev asked him, how did he know that? Because I know, because it's not first time we are meeting, we met in the previous life also. So finally, he said that one time he had this college tour, which he couldn't do for 1 year because he had some issues in health. So he closed his eyes and just put his hand on Srila Gurudev's hand or something, and he said, now I have taken all your obstacles and you will not have further obstacles. So later on, after all those conversations, you can see that two monks on airport talking and discussing, and all the people really seeing that what these two guys are doing there. So eventually, the monk, Tibetan monk, accepted that Lakshmi and all the help from Srila Gurudev, and he agreed to go to Bodh Gaya. And he said that I am leaving something for you, which is very precious. Then Srila Gurudev said, no, I don't need money. No, he said, I'm not needing money. It's something special for you, but it's there in my monastery back in Tibet. So because Srila Gurudev never visited Tibet before, so he said, what's that? He asked him that, no, it's something very secretive, I can't disclose to you. And this will be our first and last meeting, I will even not meet you again. And that's how Srila Gurudev got inspired to visit to Tibet, and he said like, some secret thing that Tibetan monk put it into that monastery, which inspired me, and even Srila Prabhupada told me, when you get a time, just go and preach to Tibet also. And that's how, all the Tibetan things started. That was small past time which I just remember. So a bit of money offering. Dear Srila Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your exalted service to the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On this most auspicious days of Vyasa Puja, I offer my heartfelt gratitude at your lotus feet. As always, you mentioned in your lecture from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 19.151, Brahman Pamite Kon Bhagyavanji, Guru Krishna Prasad, Pai Bhakti Lata Vish. Dear Srila Gurudev, thank you for mercifully accepting this insignificant fallen soul as your disciple and for planting the seed of the creeper of devotional service within my heart. Your life is shining example of what it means to fully dedicate oneself to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. Tirelessly traveling the globe, you awaken bhakti in countless hearts through vibrant Harinam Sankirtana and deeply transformative festivals such as Festival of India in Pune, the Sadhu Sangha Kirtan retreat in USA, the Rishikesh Festival, Rath Yatra Festival around the different cities across the world, Kartik Parikrama, and your book, especially The Diary of Traveling Monk, are filled with inspiring stories that beautifully propagate Krishna consciousness and deeply touch the heart of your readers. You also inspire through the lecture, rich with realized knowledge on a variety of topics, especially stimulus from ecstatic love series every Friday, as well as through your past discourse and your own example conduct. I deeply admire the way you are researching the sacred texts through the way Vrindavan Research Institute and uncovering the hidden gems from various scripture, bringing light to the truth that have long remained unseen. You are as always Kirtanya Sadhari, always chant the holy name of the God. I first knew about the video call on the second day of Nirjala Ekadasi. With great kindness, you accepted us and offered your shelter, guiding us to the path of devotional service. Later, you blessed us with the opportunity to meet you in person a few times at Vrindavan at your home, where we receive a personal instruction and witness your intimate service to your deities. I have also captured a few photos that cherish my moments, so I may always remember your presence and the guidance you gave. I still remember our last meeting at Vrindavan and how you lovingly inspired us and convinced Nandini not to keep dog by showing her video of your encounter with puppy in South Africa. You gently explained your perspective and with characteristic wisdom and humor, you said that be God conscious, not dog conscious. Maharaj, your humility, discipline and unwavering loyalty to Srila Prabhupada inspire me to strive more sincerely in my own service. By your mercy, I am engaged in various service to serve local congregation in Brisbane, Baroda and my hometown. As Krishnadas Kaviraj has said that essential truth spoken concisely is true eloquence. I could go on speaking for hours and hours, but I would like to just conclude here. Please bless us that we serve Guru and Gauranga with even fraction of your dedication. May I develop the steadiness and purity needed to carry forward these sublime missions under your shelter and guidance. I pray to Lord Nashima to protect all those blessed. Your servant Gopal Rai Das, Prema Madhuri Das, and Nandini. Hare Krishna. So before I conclude that, I just want to say that because 2 weeks back or last week, I think, we had a Vyasa Puja, Disappearance Day celebration of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and His Grace Ramana Krishna Prabhu mentioned that this is the day we should glorify all the Vaishnava. And when we study, when we take shelter, when we take initiation, your spiritual master and your Siksha Guru are both very important, and you shouldn't even do the comparison. Both are on equal level platform in one way. So on this occasion, I would also like to say thank you and glorify my Siksha Guru, His Grace Keshav Priya Prabhu and Rashmi Lakshmi Mataji. I don't think that without their support, motivations, guidance, we would be, I'll be standing here today, or I'll be part of this disciplic succession of ISKCON, And Shantini Mataji knows that she brought me first time to ISKCON temple, and the moment I stepped into temple and Gangeshwar Prabhu introduced me to Keshav Priya Prabhu, and he grabbed my hand and said, what you are doing, and all those questions he started asking. First one is, on the same day today, okay, just go and start to pot washing, And that's the service usually, I see like most of the new devotee you meet and he'll say, hey, start with the pot wash. And eventually it helps us it cleans our heart. But what I'm trying to say is that we glorify our Guru Maharaj, but yeah, I would like to also say thank you to Keshav Priya Prabhu and Mataji for all their support, guidance throughout this whole journey. Hare Krishna.
Dear Srila Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I've been fortunate to participate in Gurudev's Polish tours and his Rishikesh Kirtan festival. And so this is what I've observed of His Holiness Indradyumna Swami. He is a beacon of devotion, compassion and unwavering service within the global spiritual community. His life exemplifies the deepest qualities of a true spiritual leader: humility, love, and tireless dedication to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. With every step, Indradyumna Swami has carried the torch of bhakti across continents, inspiring countless hearts to reconnect with their divine essence. A master of kirtan and gifted speaker, his every word and action radiates a rare sincerity that touches even the most skeptical souls. His compassion knows no bounds, whether serving the humble seeker or guiding seasonal practitioners. His care is personal, patient, and profound. He doesn't simply teach the path of devotion, he lives it, embodying the teaching of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam with grace and authenticity. His tireless effort in translating and distributing and elucidating sacred texts have brought a spiritual nourishment to thousands, which we know recently he's had his book tour in India. His attention to detail combined with his deep reverence for Vedic wisdom ensures that each soul he touches receives the highest spiritual benefit. But perhaps most moving is his heart. Srila Gurudev listens deeply, he speaks kindly, and he uplifts tirelessly. His presence, he feels truly, and he makes you truly seen, valued, and loved. Not for the accomplishment, but for their soul. His care goes beyond duty. It is rooted in genuine affection and the desire to see everyone thrive spiritually. In a world often clouded by ego and distraction, Srila Gurudev shines a rare jewel of pure devotion and selflessness. His legacy is not only in his vast contribution, but the way he has transformed lives with the gentle strength of his care. He reminds us all what it truly means to love and to serve the divine couple, Radha and Krishna, and all the living beings as well. Recently he had his back pain and his surgery, but we still saw him. He came to Rishikesh Kirtan Festival, and when I'm just like stumbling, just only making it to do my service, he's there at 6 a.m. in the morning with an outstanding kirtan out the gates, waiting for guest like Sri Prahlad and Pundarika Swami. And he spoke so many glories to Pundarika Swami's wife. It was her birthday. What I observed, it was just 20 of us ladies got to give her a garland each and give her blessings. He organised that for such a wonderful person. He spoke of her 80 qualities. And what was outstanding was that Srila Gurudev's energy, that he could actually talk continuously. How this lady had done everything from going on Harinam in Jaipur to serving kilos of bananas to monkeys. He only excused her from the birthday party because she was going to talk at the United Nations, and we were just very dumbfounded that such significant people would come to the festival. But perhaps most moving is his heart. Indradyumna Swami, he listens deeply, he speaks kindly, and he uplifts us. His presence, you feel connected. We are always very truly lucky for his dedication and his stewardness to be an ambassador of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism Sampradaya, travelling far and wide to share the holy name and the wisdom of Lord Chaitanya. His kirtans are not merely musical expressions, they are deeply transformative. And I can tell you, after 5 hours of doing kirtan every single day at Rishikesh Kirtan Festival with Gurudev, doing 2 hours of the 5 hours, pretty smashed, but we absolutely thrive on getting up and going again for his kirtans. When he chants, the atmosphere changes, hearts soften, tears flow, and souls remember their eternal connection with Krishna. What Srila Gurudev sets apart is his rare blend of scholarship and sensitivity. He's a brilliant linguist, having dedicated years to his meticulous translation of ancient texts, ensuring their purity and potency remained intact. Yet beyond his intellect is a deeply empathetic heart. He notices the small things. He speaks with the gentleness and carries himself with the humility of a servant leader. Whether he's assisting a struggling devotee or honouring a child with a simple smile, he loves and gives respect for others. It is unwavering. He does not seek recognition, but his impact is undeniable. Generations of devotees have found their shelter in his words, comfort in his presence, and guidance through his example. His life is a prayer in motion, a testament to the transformative power of bhakti. Srila Gurudev is a guardian of tradition, a servant of the devotees, and a living embodiment of Krishna consciousness. He shows compassion. He has given everything, his time, his energy, his intellect, and his heart, for the pleasure of Guru Gauranga. In doing so, he has been a shining lighthouse for those navigating the turbulent waters of material life. His legacy is not merely written in books or sung in melodies. It lives on in the hearts of his devotees, and he has awakened the countless lives he continues to uplift and has boundless care, humility, and devotion. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Neha Shamata. So we'll have His Grace Yashodhara Prabhu, and is any of the disciples left now to speak? I know Yamuna Sundari and Sundari Sita are coming. So we won't be very long. We'll just have a few devotees speak, and then we'll have the nice song which the children have put along, and then after that we'll have Guru Puja and Pushpanjali.
Hare Krishna. Manjakalpatarudishya kripa sindhubhyo chakaritanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All glories to the Vaishnavas, all glories to the Divine Appearance Day of Indradyumna Swami Maharaj Ki. Jai. Just a few encounter with Indradyumna Swami in the past. Actually, last time I met him, that was a very strange encounter. We sat beside each other in a Shravanam Kirtan festival, just completely silent. He looked at me, I looked at him. He had absolutely no idea who is this insignificant, low-grade devotee, and not even wore any dhoti or anything. But in our heart, we know each other because we met before. So when, in the very first time when Indradyumna Maharaj arrived to Australia or Brisbane, so met him there in Graceville Temple, and I know it was a very hot day, and Peter Raj, the temple president, he rented a next door house, and there was a swimming pool, and it was a very hot day, so we decided to enjoy the swimming pool. So after so much talking and just dipping in the cool water, we all sat around the pool, and Maharaj and I, we sat beside each other, and then all of a sudden he thought that he's going to take a dip, and he had a lap, and then on the way back he swam underwater right to me, and I tried to move over, but he grabbed my legs, and I thought he was going to pull me into the water because we were mucking around there. Then he put my dirty feet on his head, and I had no idea I want to drown him, or I should drown, because that was something very extraordinary. So if you look at me as a very proud devotee, so I have given my mercy to Maharaj. No such thing. So many stories. There's such, beside being an excellent kirtan leader, I remember many of his stories of traveling around the world, especially in South America, in Amazonas, such adventures. And I'm coming from the same generation. Like Maharaj, actually, he's exactly 2 months younger than me. So we have something in common. The baby boomers, but I was a baby boomer from the communist side, and he, of course, from the United States. So we had this interest of traveling. So by my traveling, I find Krishna, and by his traveling, he spread the mercy of Krishna. So really, really listened to him attentively. Just continue on the story of the suitcase in Paris. So because he was a new bhakta, he had the service to bring this suitcase up to Prabhupada's floor, couple of floors, and there was no lifts. So he was dragging up the stairs, and finally when he appeared, as he dragged it up, to the floor of Prabhupada, somebody came and hit him right on the back. And he said, oh, what's that? And looked up at it was Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told him, I know the material life is very difficult, but when I take you back to God, it will be everything okay. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Indradyumna ki Jai, and all the Gora Bhakta Vrindas, all the Bhaktas of Indradyumna Swami Maharaj, all glories to you, every single one of you. And, this is the mercy of the Guru Parampara, which I enjoy just to be part of this. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Actually, this Vyasa Puja is very special for me and my family. So, last December, I went first time in Mayapur with my family, my wife and my son Venkatesh. We all three went. And we came to know Maharaj is there in Mayapur. So, even last year also I met Maharaj in Vrindavan along with other devotees from this time. But meeting Maharaj and taking his appointment, it's very anxiety-ful experience. Honestly, it was for me. I was we landed in Mayapur and we finalized our itinerary. But one day I said no itinerary. I'll meet Maharaj. And then I called Kartmasi Prabhu and then he said, yeah, probably you can meet, but I don't know the timing. I said, okay. But still I said, Prabhuji, 11 o'clock. Prabhuji, 2:30. He said, no, Prabhuji, I can't say anything. Even I can't say you can meet, but his schedule is very, very bad. I said, okay, I was just praying. So even in that anxiety, I cancelled my half-day schedule also. I was just praying. And then my son Venkatesh said, Papa, it's good to have ice cream. I said, okay, at least let's cool ourselves having some ice creams. And then we went, it was late night, around 9:30. And then I saw Kartamasi Prabhu sitting there. I said, oh yeah, you are the person I was looking for you. And then he said, then I introduced Prabhuji, I'm the person calling you since morning, Giriraj Chandas. And he said, oh Prabhuji, yes, welcome to Mayapur. He said, how did you find me? I said, I didn't find you, Prabhu. It's just coincidence that we are meeting. But please help me to Maharaj. He said, yeah, Prabhuji, I understand. But yeah, definitely we'll plan something. But I can't tell you time. Still I asked, Prabhuji, 12 o'clock? He said, Prabhu, I understand. But make sure Maharaj will meet you, but I can't tell you time. I said, okay, Prabhuji, but please do something. And there was a lot of anxiety. I was feeling nervous, like when I will meet Maharaj, especially my wife and my son. We were all waiting for that moment. And then around, so then we didn't go anywhere. I didn't visit any place on that day. So I just finished my chanting and then we were just waiting. So I just had a stroll around the Mayapur temple. Then suddenly Prabhuji called me. Oh, Prabhu. Yes. He said, yeah, can you come at 12 o'clock? He said, yes. 11:30? No, 12 o'clock. Then we went to meet Guru Maharaj. And we reached the near apartment. And then Prabhuji called me. Prabhuji, sorry, it's 1 hour late. You have to come back. I said, I'll not go back now. So we were waiting in the park for 1 hour almost, we met my son. But then Karmasi Prabhu said, probably there is some senior disciple meeting Guru Maharaj. So that's fine. I said, that's fine. I'm happy to do it. Not a problem. And then finally that moment came. Then Braja, Karmasi Prabhu was quiet. She came to receive us. And finally we saw Maharaj. And I said, I saw Maharaj. We met Maharaj. Yes. And it was very personal and one-on-one experience for me and my family, like meeting Maharaj, talking to him. And Maharaj was so merciful. I mean, he was so personal to us. He asked, when did you got married? I said, what a question, Prabhu. Then he asked, then he started speaking to my wife, Prachi, she's sitting here. He started speaking to my son Venkatesh more. Then he asked me, when did you got initiated? Then I said, Maharaj, I got initiated online. I was waiting for you in Brisbane, but you didn't come. He said, yeah, I couldn't come, but I'll come. I said, Maharaj, promise? He said, yes, promise, I'll come. But he didn't give a date. So, and he was asking so many things. I was very amazed to see a guru is asking so much things about your personal life. He asked my wife to show, can you show your wedding photos? And then we were just hurrying, oh, where are our wedding photos? Fortunately, she found some photos. I was having a lot of hairs at that time. He looked at me. He didn't say anything. And then he spoke to Venkatesh, my younger son. He spoke about his war experiences. And then he gave me, and he said, then he asked what services should I said, yeah, I'm in Buddhist mission. I do all those things. But then he said, no, yes, all those things. But first is chanting of the holy name. That you should never miss that. No one should miss that chanting of holy name. I said, yes, Maharaj, that's going on always. But I'm just trying to find the intensity. He said, yes, do it with intensity. And I took it as Guru Vachan or Guru Agya or whatever you call it. And then he embraced my son Venkatesh and he asked him, do you chant? He said, no, I don't chant. Okay, you chant now. Chant 2 rounds. Since then, every night, even he is tired, he chanting 4 rounds. Now not saying missing actually. He's such a touchstone, and thanks Guru Maharaj for that. It was a very rare experience for all of us, and I couldn't express that gratitude in this way. Thanks, Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev ki Jai.
Vishnu Hare harekrishnatemple Shrimati Indradyumna Swami Vishnu Hare harekrishnatemple Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachaline Nirvishesh Vaishnavadi Ashtit Padeshe Harini. Happy Vyasa Puja Srila Gurudev. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev, with each passing day, my love and gratitude for you is ever increasing. I have recently been meditating on one of the verses which you had stressed on in your recent initiation lectures from Srimad Bhagavatam, which says that we think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as the captain of the ship for those who desire to cross this difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates the qualities of human being. Srila Gurudev, you are the captain of my ship, and without your direction and guidance, there is no way for me. I would have just been drowning in this ocean of illusion and lust. I'm ever grateful for you, Srila Gurudev, for giving me the Harinam initiation. Life in the service of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada had written in one of his Vyasa Puja offering to his Guru Maharaj, "From seas across the earth, penetrate the universal shell, come together and preach this mission." This holds so true for you, Srila Gurudev. You travel in the jungles, the mountains, the seas and the deserts in order to follow the order of your spiritual master. There are innumerable and unprecedented challenges that you face during these festivals. And most of the festivals go on for more than a month. However, your genuine love and sincerity to the mission of Srila Prabhupada resolves the problem. As Narottam Das Thakur says in one of his bhajan, "Gangara prasara hoile pashchate pavan, darshana pavitra polo e tumara gun." After bathing in the water of Ganges, of the sacred Ganges, many times one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, Srila Gurudev, so many souls are purified. Srila Gurudev, you are one of the most merciful Vaishnava who have purified tens and thousands of people every day in your splendorous festivals that you hold. Srila Gurudev, there are so many things that I can just keep on talking. Last week, you had given your 125th lecture on the glorification of Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudev, I can just, I would like to conclude here and beg for your mercy, beg for your direction and guidance to fulfill your instruction and request that you had mentioned in one of your books, The Traveling Monk. Nothing pleases the spiritual master more than seeing his disciples making tangible advancement in Krishna consciousness. Oh my spiritual master, please show me the path to follow the instruction of yours. Srila Gurudev, I pray to Lord Narasimha to protect you and bless you with many more healthy ears so that you can preach and liberate many more fallen souls like me. Srila Gurudev ki Jai!
Hare Krishna everyone. Dear Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisance at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I wish you the happy 76th birthday. I would like to thank Sri Shakti His Grace Sakhirai Prabhu and Rajbakshi Mataji that we spent some time with Srila Gurudev and now we can reveal some sweet memories. Srila Gurudev, my words are not enough to glorify you, but I am motivated by one of the senior devotees that we should always grab an opportunity to glorify Vaishnava, and that is how we learn the glorification. And to glorify your spiritual master on the day of Vyasa Puja is the perfect service. So on that note, I would like to say a few words. Srila Gurudev, I am really inspired by how you do research on different topics before your every Friday class. I heard in one of your classes that you are researching for an average 8 to 10 hours. Recently, I was listening your series on Vaishnava Acharya. Each class has very deep knowledge, so many pastimes, historical details, references from different scriptures, references of so many Acharya that I have never heard names of that great Acharya.
There are lots of series that had recorded like Kartik Parikrama, Gaya Yatra, Narsimha Deva pastime, stimulation of ecstatic love, the binding rope of spotless love, Samadhis of Acharya, historical Vrindavan, spring pastime, monsoon pastime, winter pastime, 12 forests of the Vrindavan, Ashtasakhi pastime, Eden pastime, and many more. Apart from these, there are some annual programs need to be managed by you, like Festival of India at Bartlett Sea Coast in Poland since 1990. It's been 35 years. Kartik Parikrama, it was started in 2004 with just 20 to 25 devotees, and now it's almost 20 years completed. More than 550 devotees joining this Kartik Parikrama. Sadhu Sangha Kirtan retreat that started in 2014. It's been 12 years, and recently you started Rishikesh Kirtan Festival from couple of years. Also, whenever you return from this annual festival, you always visit India regularly and few other holy places. Never stop Gurudev. You have completed your Chardham Yatra at the age of almost 70 years, and also the Kailas Yatra at the same age. That's really amazing. It is no doubt that Gurudev, you are the most adventurous disciple of Srila Gurudev. Srila Gurudev, you have been writing well-known diary of traveling monks series since 1995. There are 15 series of this book. I still remember when I was inspiring for initiation, reading this series, and this book is one of the amazing books to get inspired spiritually. Also, since 2021, you have taken responsibility for helping to store and maintain the scared scripture found in Vrindavan Research Institute, which houses more than 32,000 Gaudiya Vaishnava scripture, including many original writings of the important early Gaudiya Vaishnava writers and thinkers, such as Srila Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, and Srila Narottam Das Thakur. When I was listening to your class, you mentioned that after your research of the handwritten books of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, you found ink mark on your finger, and then you took a glass of water, dip your finger in the water to take out that ink mark, and once done, you drank that auspicious water. Hari Bol. This is just a glimpse of your services for our beloved Srila Prabhupada and spreading Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Srila Gurudev, I don't have enough words to glorify your divine qualities, but this is just my service to glorify the pure Vaishnava of the divine couple of Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar. Srila Gurudev, I do some random service at our local Brisbane temple and at HareKrishnaTemple as my duty for the local ISKCON community. Also, from this year, we started a Bhakti Ruksha at our place with your mercy to spread Krishna consciousness. Srila Gurudev, while doing this, still I don't have a correct service code, developing no love to Gauranitai. Just doing a mechanical service, still waiting for a day when I will have taste in servicing Shri Shri Gauranitai and chanting the holy name. When a day will come, I will make a Chappan Buka every day. When a day will come, I will make a very opulent garden from the very fresh flowers. When a day will come, I will assist you full time in your service of preaching program. When a day will come, I glorify you every day. When a day will come, I will listen pastime of a divine couple of Sri Sri Radha Krishna every day from you. When a day will come, when I will fully engage in the business of Krishna consciousness. When a day will come, I will be a dasa and dasa and dasa. Srila Gurudev, please shower your mercy onto me, that we have some attachment with the holy name and awaken love for you and a divine couple of Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar. You are always engaged in the tireless service of your spiritual master, Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I beg mercy of Shri Shri Gauranitai so that I can serve you how you serve your spiritual master tirelessly. Srila Gurudev, on this auspicious day, I will pray to Lord Nrsimha for your long and healthy life. Please accept once again my pranama unto your dust of your lotus feet. At last, I will just say that I am proud to be a daughter of a spiritual master like you, who is a disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your servant, Prema Madhuri.
Maybe Madhurajan Prabhu, and then after that, Kishore Prabhu and Harekrishna Prabhu. And then we'll have a song by the children, and Lord Arti, Guru Puja.
Hare Krishna. My beloved spiritual master, His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisance at your lotus feet. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, our eternal shelter. All glory to unwavering dedication to His divine mission. On this most sacred and joyful occasion of your 76th Vyasa Puja, I offer my full heart, mind and soul in the glorification of your divine presence in our lives. Maharaj, I remember the very first time I saw you in Pokhara, Nepal in 2013. At that time, we were just young boys without even Kantinala around our necks. But your glance and kindness, heart was filled with the concern and the compassionate. Your loving instructed us. My dear devotees, please put on your kanchi immediately in your leg. Death can come at any time. That was the turning point of my life. From that moment, I began to understand that the great fortune of associating with the true Vaishnava, a Braja Premi Bhakta, and a most surrendered disciple of Srila Prabhupada. After that first meeting, I used to constantly pray in my heart, when will I get personal association with Gurudev, with you? When will I be able to talk with him like him? When will I serve you directly? This longing reminded within me like a flame in my heart, and by your causeless mercy, those prayers were answered. You not only give me association, you gave me personal service, personal travel, and personal moment that I know keep eternally stirring my heart. Maharaj, I had the fortune to fly with you, to serve in your powerful preaching, and to witness your unstoppable compassionate in action. Each of those moments is sacred to me, like the memories built among the Thakur expressed in his Chaurashtakam, sweet personal claims of the divine intimacy that I hold close and rely often in remembrance is stored in my heart. By your mercy, I was also able to bring many devotees from Nepal to your grand festival to participate in your Vrindavan Yatra and to feel part of the global family of ISKCON with you so beautifully viewed around Srila Prabhupada. Your love for Vrindavan, your respect for the Brajavasis, your compassionate dealing with episode, they have taught us not just the philosophy but the real mood of the devotional life. I offer my same prayers, Gurudev. May I be allowed to carry the dust of your lotus feet in my heart, and may I assist in your mission to please Srila Prabhupada and spread Krishna consciousness around the world. Gurudev, I am also immensely grateful for another special gift you gave us, your exalted disciple, Sakira Prabhuji, who you have blessed us not just with your own shelter, but with your representative like him, who carry your mood, your vision, and your compassionate. Here in Australia, Sakira Prabhuji is not only guiding me with affectionate and care, but also tirelessly inspiring so many Western souls to take off Krishna consciousness. When you are physically far from us, He bring your presence into our lives, His guidance, His constant reminder that you are never far away, and that your mercy flows through your loyal serving. Thank you, Gurudev, for everything, for your words, your presence, your disciples, and your unending shelter, whatever little service like I have done or will do is only by your and Prabhupada's blessing. On this glorious day, I offer these heartfelt prayers Like may Lord Gauranga and Sri Radha Shamsundar bless you with the health, strength, and a long life to continue illuminating this world. May your desire to flower the globe with the Vrindavan sweetness and Prabhupada's vision be fulfilled without obstacle. And may I, with all humility, remain instrument in your hands, serving your mission wherever you place me. Gurudev, my life is meaningful only because of you and Srila Prabhupada. Please never let me forget your word to speak. Please allow me to always serve you in the life and the next. Hare Krishna. Srila Gurudev, Vyasa Puja Mahamotsav ki Jai.
Tasmai Shri Gurudev Namaha. Om Shri Harekrishnatemple, Shri Indradyumna Swami, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gaurvani Pracharani, Vishesha Shri His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj, Vyasa Puja Mahan Mahotsav ki Jai. So thank you, Secretary Prabhu, for inviting me for this Vyasa Puja ceremony. I actually personally, Secretary knows I have never met Maharaj personally. Although he has come here many, many times, I have never had an opportunity to actually sit down and talk to him. But I have over the years I have observed some of his wonderful qualities. So maybe I can elaborate on a few of those. The sadhus are always Titikshava, Karunika, Surida, Sarvadehina, Ajata, Shatrava, Shanta, Sadhava, Sadhu, Bhushan. They are very tolerant, they are very merciful, they are the friend of all living entities. They don't have a caste of their own, they all belong to everyone. They are not to be looked upon in a bodily, mundane way. And all their characteristics are actually very, very sublime. So, unfortunately, I was a little late in coming, so I could not hear all the offerings, but whatever I heard was so heartfelt and so wonderful. Some of the things about Maharaj that come to mind are that first thing that I could think of is when one is supposed to take sannyas, then they have to be extremely fearless. And I think out of many of them, I see that he has portrayed that very, very clearly. He has no hesitation, no fear of any circumstance, any situation, going anywhere. He has been to, I think, some of the most remote corners of the world, which not many sannyasis have been to. They have usually stayed at their own zone or something, but Maharaj has actually been everywhere, almost like that I could think of. His traveling monk thing from 95, someone said. And I have had the fortune of reading some of them, and it's just mind-blowing. Also how Krishna puts him in those situations where he gets these amazing relics and you could say symbols of devotion all over the world. And he reveres them, he makes us know of stories in the past which we usually are not aware of, and brings us so much inspiration from that. So I also found another good, wonderful quality of him is that he's very, very approachable. I find that especially when, if you look at Prabhupada, when he started, he was 65 years old. But when he was attracting people, he was attracting very, very young people to himself. And Maharaj himself is almost like that. If you look at him, he is not so young looking right now, but very, very young people get attracted to him and to take up Krishna consciousness, which is actually very, very essential for our movement to propagate very effectively. We need to get young people to take it up seriously. I don't know if it is appropriate to mention in this, but I think I will still mention it because the year that Brajavallavi left this world, I was staying at Sakirai Prabhu's home, looking after their house during that same year. And so I was in his house and I get this news of what happened in Vrindavan. So for the first time, I decided to go to her room. I had not been to any other rooms in the house, and I was the only one in the house. So I went to Brajavalla's room. And I have to admit, I have never seen a room like that in my whole life. And her devotion to Indradyumna Swami was very much evident on the walls of her room. And also I started reading everything because the whole room was filled with all these realizations, appreciation of His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj. And I saw there was a vase of glass which had actually fallen on the floor and had completely broken. Glass splinters were in the room. So, and then I saw the kind of mood that she had developed. Now this was within, I guess, not very many years, right? It was within a very few short years. She developed an amazing level of devotion to the spiritual master, to the pastimes of Radha Krishna, to the very deeper levels of spiritual, attainment. So to inspire someone so young in such a short period of time into this intensity and level, that is the actual, I think, the strength of Indradyumna Swami Maharaj that I saw. Had this personal experience there. So I felt that at that time I came through her, through those writings, I got to see the glories of Maharaj there right in front of me. It was I felt like a very, very personal experience, although I never met Maharaj. So I won't take much of time, but I also, while leaving, I want to say one more thing in regards to, these are occasions of Vyasa Puja, they are occasions of when we are actually glorifying the disciples of Srila Prabhupada also. And what is most important for us to understand is that we take many things in our life for granted. We take the association sometimes of the spiritual master for granted. Okay, he's there, I can meet him, I can correspond with him, he's going to give me an answers to whatever I need to know. This is very nice to have actually, but then there are times when, all of a sudden something happens and we don't have him with us, amongst us anymore. So I would say that happened to me also. I had so many plans, but I never executed them when my Guru Maharaj was present. And then all of a sudden one day he was not there. So do not take the spiritual master for granted. Do not take his existence, physical existence in this world for granted. We must, as far as possible, take as much advantage of his physical association while he is present, although the Vani is more important always than the Vapu. But my Guru Maharaj used to say, I know that Vani is more important than Vapu, but if physical is available, Vapu is available, then I would prefer to have both. Vani and Vapu. Why only Vani? So while you have the association of him in this physical material world, grab hold of his lotus feet and take as much association. Go to him as often as you can, or whatever you can, or do some services while he is also here, personally if you can. And this will be actually very inspiring, and this will be the inspiration throughout your whole life to remember your Guru Maharaj and have some fond memories of him on a personal basis as well. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
In this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, there's a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita being discussed. Kalir Dharma Krishna Sankirtana Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartana. That without being empowered by Krishna Shakti, one cannot be empowered to propagate the Sankirtan movement and make changes in their own lives and changes in other people's lives. So we can see from life of His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj that he himself has so nicely imbibed this principle of Krishna consciousness. Usually, everyone gets so attached to certain designations. Srila Prabhupada mentions this verse many times. Sarvopadi Vinedamurta. These upadhis, Prabhupada translates as designation. Designation of the sannyasi, designation of the grasta, designation of the doctor, designation of a temple president, designation of a preacher, and so on and so forth. Many designations. However, when we get caught up in these designations, we compromise the actual substance, which is love of Godhead. And I'm very fortunate to have many, many times association with this over the Indradyumna Maharaj. Over the last 30 years or so, he used to come to Sydney so often, almost every year. And for the Christmas marathon, he used to stay there for almost 10 days. And over the period of time, we have been very fortunate enough to see that how Maharaj is practically free from even a designation of a sannyasi. And wherever he sees a living entity, he sees the potential that this living entity is a servant of Krishna, and he is empowered, and he utilizes his bhakti to remove the covering of Maya somehow or the other from that living entity by giving them love, by giving them affection. And I've been so privileged to hear the heartfelt offerings of many, many disciples in this assembly today. And it's all credit to Maharaj that he has touched every one of yours and our lives in that way. That this isn't just a ritual. Sometimes we see that it becomes fashion to take initiation, and then initiation, that's the end of initiation. We never see some devotees again, or they are festival devotees only. But we see that many disciples of His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj, they are so active in services, and they are working behind the scenes. It's not that they'll be standing in the front doing services that everyone can see. And they're working so much in the background. But at the same time, their devotion is esteemed with so much love and intensity for the love of their spiritual master. And hearing this actually inspires me personally that yes, this is how a perfect devotee is supposed to be, following the footsteps of their spiritual master. And their spiritual master is so exemplary that without wasting any time and without caring for any designation. Of course, when Srila Prabhupada formed the ISKCON movement, that was an emergency situation. So, one devotee would be doing everything, cleaning the toilets, being the temple president, being the pujari, being the full-time cook, and all these things is there. But as our movement has advanced and more devotees are there, it can be so leading in terms of our own lives that we become attached to some position. But Maharaj has perfectly lived a life of beyond sannyas, I would say. That sannyasis role, is one first quality of sannyas. Prabhupada mentioned in Bhagavad Gita is abhayam, as Nandakishore Prabhu mentioned, fearlessness, and then he hasn't, ever been involved after taking sannyas in any management position, as far as I know. But 100% of his time he is just dedicated to chanting and preaching. In Srimad Bhagavatam verse, I'll end with this. There's a nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam on the life of Narad Muni. And in the first line of the paper, Srila Prabhupada says, the life of a pure devotee of the Lord, thus in a nutshell, is explained by the personal example of Narad Muni. And 10 qualities are mentioned in that verse. And Maharaj perfectly exemplifies all of those 10 qualities in abundance. Those 10 qualities are, I cannot help but make everyone say, can I do that? Namanyanantasya Atatra Papatan. Face quality, unlimited names of Krishna, Patan, continuously singing and reciting. Second quality, Athatrapa, free from all formalities of social expectations. And Guyani Bhadrani. Holy names of Krishna are mysterious, but a sadhu like Maharaj brings them into life, and therefore it is auspicious. Kirtani Jasmaran. The spiritual master is always remembering the pastimes of Krishna. And we know Maharaj, holds every Friday, especially for disciples, this session in which he discusses deep realizations and pastimes of Krishna. And in this way, Gambariyatams, he moves in every town and village all over the world. Tushtamanagatastruha, is satisfied in mind, no, hankering for anything. And Kalam Pratikshan, is ready to go for the spiritual world anytime. But he's taking here for us. Although he's so qualified, Vimada Vimatsaraha, he doesn't have a tinge of pride, and he doesn't have a tinge of envy against anyone, and he just gives his love to whoever comes across his path. His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj ki Jai. His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Mahotsav ki Jai.
Because we have the last speakers near Bhakti, and then we'll have the children singing a little short bhajan, and Pushpanjali and Bhakti.
Hare Krishna. I know everyone has been sitting here for a long time. Keep it short and sweet. Indradyumna Maharaj has been my first in many ways. He is the first sannyasi I met. His class was the first class I ever heard. And his disciples were the first devotees I ever met. So in that way, I have a special bond with him. He does things so perfectly. Like look at him in his pictures. No other Swami would have such perfect pictures with that brightest smile on his face, and I always get admired by his smile and his pictures. They're so perfect. He's such a great monk. He's not just a great monk, not just a great Srila Prabhupada disciple, but to me, he is my spiritual uncle, and that's how I take him. My Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Kadamakanand Swami would say, Indradyumna Maharaj and I are brothers. Right? And on this earth, I have been his elder brother, Indradyumna Maharaj would say, and when we go to the spiritual world, because my Maharaj, Guru Maharaj left first, he is going to be the elder one. So the roles are going to reverse. So I have this very special connection with Maharaj, and I'll just share a quick little something from my life. About 3-4 years ago, I had gone to Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan, I had gone to Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, and at Radha Damodar temple. So as I went there, I paid obeisances, and the first vision I had was of His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj. And the first vision I got there was, you know how his pictures had come out that he was holding onto Srila Rupa Goswami's chanting beads. I don't know if you've seen those photos, like those big beads. And I was like, that's a nice spiritual desire to have. I wish I could hold those beads and take blessings from him. Believe it or not, next day I was holding onto those beads as well. So somehow I feel Indradyumna Maharaj is a mercy giver, and he's wish fulfilling. And he's fulfilled so many of my spiritual desires, which sometimes is beyond my understanding on how he's doing it. About 2 years ago, on Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, I was doing the decoration that day, and that morning, very randomly and very suddenly, I texted Satyarai Prabhu, can you give me his email address?
And he said, sure. And he didn't ask me any questions. He was in Vrindavan. He didn't ask me any questions. He instantly gave me the email address. And then I started typing an email. And as I started typing the email, Sanatan was sitting next to me. And he said, whom are you sending this email to? And I said, I'm typing to His Holiness Indradyumna Swami. And he said, for what? And I said, I want Giriraj. And I'm going to ask him for one. And he's like, that is so random. Think about it, draft your email properly, you're writing to a Swami, you should think about it. Speak to Sakirai Prabhu, don't just type in my email. And I was like, no, I had only half an hour because I had to come to the temple. And I said, no, I'm going to type it, I'm going to send it to him. I just sent him an email with a lot of stuff in there. Some emotional stuff in there as well, so that he understands. That evening, when we had the offerings, Srila Prabhupada's offerings going on, homages going on in the room, I had Sanatan's phone. Generally, I would never have Sanatan's phone, but that day I had. And there was this constantly an Indian phone number ringing. I kept on cutting it. And then the message came in, my Guru Maharaj wants to speak to your wife. I took the phone, I ran outside the temple, near the kappa, and I called her. It was a video call. Yes, as soon as I call up, who's sitting on the other side? It's Indradyumna Swami. He's sitting there with two shilas in his hand, right and left. Which one do you like? And I was shaking. I didn't know, I could not even pay my obeisances. I was shaking and I didn't know what was happening to me. In that instance, he's telling me, this is so beautiful and this is nice. And I was like, Maharaj, you decide. He said, I love them both. You have to decide which one do you want. And I was like, I like decoration, I like tying turbans, so I don't know, you decide. And he said, both of them, you can tie turbans to both of them. See, look. And then he shows me in 360 degrees, Giriraj, right? He's taking his camera around, showing me, this one looks like this, it's about this big in size. This one's little, but again, very cute, and I love him as well. And then again, he's taking the camera around and he's showing me that. And I just picked a one because that resembled to what my Guru Maharaj had, and that was my instant connection with that deity. And then Maharaj said something very important, and that remains with me. He said, this is my service to your spiritual master. So he was not just giving that to me out of his love, but he considered that is his service to my spiritual master. And that's how he took it. And we can see from his behavior as well, the way he takes care of each one of us, that the service continues. Even when your Guru Maharaj goes away, there is someone who's always looking after you. And in Indradyumna Maharaj, I find a spiritual uncle who's never going to leave me. Thank you so much. Hare
Thank you very much. It was wonderful. Happy Vyasa Puja, Srila Gurudev. Okay, so we rise for Pushpanjali and for Puja.
आप ले जा रहा है
हाँ बंदी